executions, tentacles.
It's just visceral.
You want it to feel as if you're diving into like a rotten corpse.
I just love how beauty meets monstrosity.
It's definitely pushed the tone a bit further.
It's basically Dark Crusader on steroids.
Welcome back to Lifting the Veil, the podcastified version. So nice we're doing it twice, at least. You've got myself, David Valjallo. You've also got returning champion Jack Sparrow stuntman
Ryan Hill.
You've got all ass no class
James Lowe.
And now, this week, very excited to introduce
Charlie Scott.
Charlie Scott. Charlie, what do you do at CI Games?
So I am a lead concept artist at CI Games. My career has been spent in the horror genre, generally. Across the board. I came in as an intern into a very cinematic studio. Worked on such titles as Until Dawn and The Quarry, Dark Pictures Anthology.
Nice.
I guess horror genre has meant that I've been focused on bringing out horror emotions in the player throughout. Yeah,
Love it. Ideal. Perfect fit for Lords of the Fallen, clearly.
Yeah, definitely.
And a bloodier, bolder, braver direction, which we'll get into. So this episode will actually be broadcast to you after Gamescom, where we will have attended. Well, at least James, Ryan, and I. Do you think we will have all made it back from Gamescom?
Yeah.
Think any of us will have been cancelled or banned
face will be a
from
bit
the
more
industry?
Tattooed, I
Yeah.
think.
My face will be more tattooed. Is that the plan?
Absolutely.
Right. Okay. I'm just thinking about.
Will we not discuss that with you yet?
No, not yet. My body is a canvas, obviously.
I'm waiting for the tattoo artist to pop out from a
Yeah, have we got any tattoos?
We've got
Charlie?
zero. We've
Nothing.
got nothing.
We've got a clean skin amongst us.
Clean.
Virgin.
Yeah.
And we still hired him.
Yeah. I didn't tell you before this. That was just yeah.
Well, unfortunately, this may be the last time we see you, Charlie.
I'm waiting for that buzz to hit. And yeah.
Surprise tattoo,
Yeah.
attack tattoo. No, we don't do that. It's a good idea, though. Okay, so one of the very exciting things about Gamescom is everyone will have seen the fantastic trailer for Lords of the Fallen 2, which we can now talk about. So let's start with that. I think I'll start with James and just get into like the gory details of what we saw in that trailer. And, I mean, very specifically as well, in terms of the last game, where are we now with Lords of the Fallen?
So, have to still talk quite cryptically about some things.
Because Ryan will kill you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, need enough content for the rest of the trailers.
I know, right? But the trailer obviously shows some interesting themes, right? It's a departure, it's a progression from the last thing we saw within Lords of the Fallen. So obviously there's some new protagonists, there's some new elements to play with, there's some new gore. It's definitely pushed the tone a bit further. As we can see, there's also some secret features in there that we're starting to tease. And obviously we have some bigger things like monsters and some of the new areas we also tease as well. So there's a lot there.
I think I can push you a little bit further. I think we saw all kinds. We saw executions, I think.
Yes.
Anything to elaborate on there?
Yeah, so we're going to have some interesting ways to dispatch your enemies in the game, and the trailer definitely teases up to really show some more interesting stuff there. So what you saw in the trailer is definitely setting the stage for what will be coming soon.
And, I mean, executions, tentacles.
Yeah, there's some tentacles in there, yeah.
There's some tentacles going down
Yeah.
some throats. It's definitely, I think it's safe to say, from the last episode we talked about bolder, bloodier, braver. I think for me, being able to see a little bit behind the scenes of how this has all come together, I think it's been like a team effort getting this piece together. Charlie, obviously, you're involved with the art as well. So I think like the great thing about this episode is we can all just talk about that collaboration, that collaborative process. So I think for me, like one of the big questions is, in terms of where we are in the world of Lords of the Fallen now, like when does this take place? Like that's one big obvious question what people might have. It's just like,
So what I can say So it's a direct follow-up to Lords of the Fallen 2020.
It's a sequel.
It's a sequel.
Lords of the Fallen 2 is a sequel. That's
you would
breaking
be shocked,
news.
right?
Okay.
But it's a sequel that is 100 years in the future from the events of Lords of the Fallen 23.
Okay.
So there's a lot that's happened. As you can see, some things have had a bit of a facelift. It's a bit of a different vibe, especially on Umbral. So won't go into much there, but the trailer gives you a sort of idea of something's definitely happened there. Umbral's not where we left it back in 2023. So it's definitely, with that 100-year gap, has progressed to a point of where a new champion needs to rise to basically push some evil forces back.
And with just pushing on Umbral a bit more, Umbral already looks and feels different in this trailer. So that's safe to say that's...
Very much so, yeah.
Yeah.
Red.
There's some red in it.
We like red.
Yeah, I think the thing that I have with Umbral, and to kind of really put it into a bit of a package there, is that within Lords 2023, Umbral was a still decaying place the player went into. They explored it. Now, 100 years later, with the events that we'll kind of showcase in the next few months, up until the release, Umbral's now a bit more of a devouring force. It's now no longer something that we can ignore as the player, and the visual language really is representing that as this kind of, devouring force of Axiom in opposed to where it was.
Yeah, one of the things that I heard at the studio that I love is this idea that if the previous Lords of the Fallen was about the player or the character stepping into Umbral, this, as represented by the tentacles, is about Umbral stepping into you.
Yeah.
Right, and I think that's a really cool way of framing it.
Yeah, maybe you can elaborate on that tentacle shot, because I remember you insisting really heavily that it had to ram straight down the throat.
Yeah, me and you remember that conversation somewhat differently, but I think it's an interesting metaphor. And kind of what David said there, like, Umbral was a thing you went into, now it's something within you. And that's a theme that's going to play all the way through the player journey.
Penetration.
Yeah, yeah. It depends what you're penetrating things with, if we're going to continue down this. Swords.
3 minutes in and we've already derailed ourselves.
And I won't be the one. I wasn't the one that did it, so I can rest in the knowledge there.
I blame Charlie.
Yeah, it's my fault.
It's all Charlie. It's always this Charlie.
The new guy.
Yeah. You said he's from horror.
It's
literally all they're about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think with the tentacles and the kind of aggressive nature that we see in the trailer, it's forceful. It's just visceral. My favourite word of the year. It really gives this impression that Umbral is deeper this time. It's not just an exterior force that you're just going in and using as a mechanic. It's something within, and it's something that needs to come out in different ways. And so we'll be seeing some really interesting things of what Umbral can do in the new game.
Yeah, and with the concept art side of that, Charlie, is there anything in the process that you went through trying to find that tone and push Umbral in a new direction this time?
No, it was definitely a big task. I was right there at the front of it, marking out those first steps to creating Umbral in game. James touched on it, but we wanted to focus on those emotional beats that we want to portray as you dive deeper. And keyword, grotesque body horror is, it's a very visceral, personal kind of horror. So it reminds you of your vulnerabilities, and as we delve deeper, we can play on that structurally. So we had to think about how we might approach that with the assets and structures that we built. We wanted to feel as if you're diving into like a rotten corpse, as you get deeper, and those barriers between flesh and architecture have like crumbled. It's completely lost track. So I guess without spoiling too much, I think I've described enough.
You under the table.
Yeah. we would go ahead and build parasitic pustules like tumors, or rib cages, that you can walk under like trees, things that, just a palette of assets that the art team can, puppeteer the player as they dive deeper. We get to control those emotions with what you see.
One of the ways I think about it, whether this is intentional or not, but I sort of see Umbral in the first game as sort of a scab. It was like dry, crusty, And in those 100 years, it's as if that scab has flaked off, and this is that flesh underneath, basically, and it's just raw and sticky. And I know stickiness was like a key word when you guys were concepting it. Talk to us about the stickiness.
I think it pushes on those, realizations that we're bags of meat with bones in them. I think that is, playing on those vulnerabilities is where, it lies, I think. It's not just body horror. It needs that meaning behind it. It's not just a palette of guts. You have to, place these things correctly. Use that to your benefit. Yeah.
Feels a lot more raw. Yeah. I think the interesting kind of progression there for me is kind of what you said there, Ryan, where it was a scab and now it's an open wound. Yeah, it also has like this feeling of birth, which is quite fun because Umbral's about death.
Nothing fun about birth.
Nothing fun happening.
It's horrendous.
I've heard it's rough.
Said by a bunch of men.
I know, right? But the idea of Umbral's dying and now it's starting to have its own type of life, and this is the form it's taken in this grotesque wound-like way. Feels alive. Feels if you touch it, it would move and it would touch you back. I already realised as soon as I said that where that could go. But it's super interesting to see what the art team have done and how they've pushed it to somewhere where I think players are going to really, really like what they see.
I love it. There's lots more I want to talk about in terms of the actual specifics of the trailer, which I will definitely get back to. It just feels like such a good time to tag you and Ryan and just think the things Charlie and James have talked about with the creative and the kind of conceptual side. It's kind of your job, in part, one of the many things you do, to take that and then manifest it and pay it off in a trailer, right?
Yeah.
So with those raw materials, how does that process work? Where do you come in and where do you start from with all of that?
Big question. I'd say the trailer was very much an organic, living piece.
Appropriate.
And it's we actually started the process towards the end of last year, and there were elements in Lords of the Fallen 2 that were still being conceptualized at the time. But it was great working with these guys. I absolutely love where they've taken that original vision and just pushed it further. And we talk about bolder, braver, bloodier a lot. That was obviously at the forefront of concepting this trailer. It had to have an intensity, a rawness, a viscerality. So it was trying to elevate those sensations from the trailers we did before. The previous trailers were very fun and adrenaline pumping. It was a lot, action heavy, a lot of sword fights, and we wanted to take it a step further this time and almost make you, feel something almost. So there's a lot of sort of tangibility in this with tentacles going down the throats, the executions, even the skirmish with the Scion at the end with her, twisting his neck, breaking his body. Just that rawness, that intensity, I think.
It's much more, and some of the things you described is much more tactile and crunchy and personal, intimate. Definitely. I think Charlie had mentioned, about that sense of vulnerability. I think that comes through, despite this, the Dark Crusader being an absolute badass. I think just this trailer for me, having seen the previous trailer as part of the audience last time, the previous game, very different tone this time. And that tone is something that's really interesting to explore. You guys are working with tone on the dev side, trying to find the tone for the game. And then it's your job, kind of, to interpret that tone or to bring it in to the trailer. What's that, how do you bridge that gap? Do you guys sit down and you talk about the tone and you say, okay, that's the tone, I'm going to capture it? Or do you come in and add highlights to it?
I think with a Souls-like, it's not just about combat, it's immersion. So that was key as well, trying to make the viewer feel immersed in this trailer. So pretty much every shot, or at least we tried to with every shot, that there was something that you could sort of multiple meanings is too strong a word, but elements that you could really sort of like plunge yourself into, and like for example, that the opening shot with the eye. I mean, immediately there's that stickiness to it, and it's it's disgusting. It's there is sort of like a visceral element to it as well, but like. You look a bit deeper, and there's something in the pupil traveling up, and obviously viewers might not know what that is. They might have an idea at this moment in time, but we wanted to get those elements in the trailer, to create that sense of immersion. So it's not just about shock value throughout, but every shot has some sort of like deeper meaning within the world as well.
That's the exciting thing there, right? It's depth. Like what you've achieved, and that's something that I can't wait for when obviously more things come out and people revisit the trailer. It's kind of like that's what that was. And for any eagle-eyed viewers out there that will find stuff that they may even already know, they know the universe a bit. So seeing like the trailer and Ryan's team escalate that really gives then us like another sense of escalation. So it's like we're both in a really positive way trying to one-up each other. Like we're trying to do the game and get themes there. Then we talk with Ryan's team, they then do their thing, and it's like, right, they've one-upped us, bastards. Let's go do them now. Right, and going back and forth. But that makes this fun, because then at the end of the day, like we're creating like something that like when it goes out, we're all just super excited to see what players will.
I think James touched on something really interesting there as well, because there is that one-upmanship, but actually it's sort of like, you start off with the trailer and it's like, oh my God, I've got to like, these guys have taken the game to such and such level. I've got to try and, meet them there. And then it's like, oh, James, can I do this in this game? And he's like, okay, if we do that in the trailer, that has this effect on the game. And so it's like, So it was interesting.
So things from the trailer can go the other direction. Make you guys have to do more things,
which is cool, right? And I think and I've said this a lot, especially with like how our kind of departments work together. It's like you have like synergies that go across and things that we always have to align on, and that's good, that's healthy. But it's like then when a document can be really weird when it's like, you hand it over and it's like, oh, I understood it this way. And then they visualize it in one way and it's like, well, okay, we did not think of this. Like, okay, how can we actually bring that back into the game? And then Brian's team will see that and then go, okay, we need to do this. And that is really, really fun, because you then have different perspectives on how you work and how you're trying to build this world. So it's such an eye-opening process, pun completely intended. But it really helps us kind of, create something really wholesome.
I love that. That collaboration seems really key. You touched on something else there, James, which is like the dev team's reaction and feeling about the trailer and seeing it. And I think that's something really interesting. I think I'll start with Charlie on that one, actually, because you're seeing like character designs come to life that you've been working on. Like, what's that like as an artist?
I mean, it's one of the best things about the role. I actually got the pleasure of working on the new Dark Crusader for sure. Actually, very, very, very closely with Ryan. There was many.
This guy.
That guy.
That's not the Dark Crusader.
He was my Dark Crusader for sure. It was. But that's what's fantastic. It was, late nights, early morning, like live painting over video with Ryan, and that collaborative efforts is what I love the most about it, and seeing how you can take a character, every dent in the armor, every rip on the cloth, speaks of their story, and it's not just about what looks cool. It needs to have meaning, and we poured a lot of hours into
Absolutely.
him. It was a really good experience, and these should never be easy tasks. There's a reason we put those hours in to get it to the where it is today.
So what was the like creative intent? I mean, he's on the key art, he's in the trailer, prominent. What was the creative intent behind the Dark Crusader? Like,
I think the Crusader's absolutely my boy. I love him. He's such a symbol, and I think it's fair to say players fell in love with him in the first game. And it's not to say that it's the same guy. In fact, I think we can confidently say it's not the same guys. But yeah, approaching this Crusader, he sort of, for me, he epitomized what we've done with the game. So he almost epitomizes the evolution from Lords of the Fallen to Lords of the Fallen 2. So I think, to use one of your phrases, he's basically Dark Crusader on steroids. He had to be like spikier, covered in more metal, more chains. He just almost like
more dangerous.
Yeah, exactly, more dangerous. If you
times Ryan's meaner, just meaner.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I wanted it in my head. I was thinking, if you envisaged this Crusader meeting the last Crusader down an alley at night, that the old Crusader stood no chance. Basically, this guy's an absolute machine.
He holds his handbag. Passes it.
It's those conversations that are super fun, right? It's
exactly.
Like we're there, and the hours that we spent looking at the original Crusader, and I think this is quite a cathartic process of just looking at the old Crusader and going, right, what components would need to be better and better. Like his armor would be stronger, it would be more movable, like his helmet would just be more grand. It's always like having that analytical period of what we'd done before and how that informed then this design. It's super fun, and I don't think we do that enough probably when going from like one character to another. I think it would have been very easy for us to just go, yeah, everyone loves the Crusader, let's just do the Crusader. But then going down this path and making something truly like badass. It's been so much fun.
As well as sort of epitomizing the evolution in the game itself, it was also envisaging, if the previous Dark Crusader existed at a time 100 years ago, in those 100 years, the world is a much more dangerous place now. Without going into any details, what does a Dark Crusader look like in this time period to survive the horrors that now exist?
If the last Crusader was built for a fight, this one looks and feels like he's built for war, right? And the world itself seems to be like it's 100 years later. It's darker. If the world's meaner, he's got to be meaner, right, to survive. There's other characters in this trailer, if you want to call them characters. We've got a glimpse of a lady by his side.
Absolutely.
Do you want to talk about her?
Yes.
She's glimpsed.
She is
Who's
glimpsed. That is the Dark Enchantress. Yeah, very close to my heart. Coming up with a female counterpart to the Dark Crusader, basically.
Right.
What would, if he's the yin, what would the yang look like?
Yeah.
And I think they did a great job, to be honest. I've absolutely fallen head over heels in love with her.
With the Dark Enchantress, one of the things I think I heard you say in the studio was, if he's Batman, we're looking for Catwoman, right? They have to be like counterparts to each other in that way.
Yeah.
For you guys, what was like the mission with her and her design?
I mean, the Dark Crusader is like, that sword-wielding badass, right? Just the guy on the battlefield that's taking heads off everywhere. Whereas the Dark Enchantress needs to be different. So kind of thinking more mechanical to begin with. And we'll see some things where you can tease some things with the Dark Enchantress and what she can do, but she needs to be that counterpart. So she needs to have a different set of skills, essentially. She needs to wield different weapons. So that was kind of where early ideation started, I would say. And then I think this is where Charlie and Ryan can speak more than me. But it's this, how do you make that look as badass? Like, she's not clad in complete armor, she's a lot more exposed in areas, so that to me shows a level of confidence. But how do you make that look like they could stand next to each other and you could go, I don't know who's going to win this one?
Yeah, it wasn't just either as well that we wanted one male and one female. The Crusader is, he's a melee character. He's all about the massive sword, and there's not much more to him. But we wanted, so that if he's melee, we wanted the Enchantress to be magic, and that was an interesting entry point as well. What does a magic-based Crusader look like? So immediately, it's less metal armor.
Yeah.
And it was like a I don't know, boiled leather. I don't know what it is, Charlie. What is it that she's wearing?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. She feels very mysterious to me.
Yeah.
She's grace, and that presence, I think, is what we were trying to portray. You know, to build on that mystery about who is this character. Like Dark Crusader very much is, you know, you get what you see with him. Everything tells that story, but with her it was more about, you know, that mystery element and what, you know, fans and players could build with that.
We've got another character. This one's definitely a character in the trailer. The most vocal one, Thaddeus, I think we're calling him.
Yeah.
He's in there.
Yeah, he's in there. Can't say too much about Thaddeus.
Can say anything.
I can say retribution, I think he said. Yeah, so within Lords of the Fallen 2, we wanted to really push the world forward, right? It's being built out horizontally in this one. Players are going to see a lot more of the land of Axiom, a lot of different places. And Thaddeus acts as a bit of I would say, a force to push the player into this. So we'll be seeing a lot of him. We'll be talking to him a lot, and he has a lot of things for us. So that's comfortably all I can say without going too far.
Is that all he can say without going too far? That's a yes. I take it there's other NPCs as well. It's going to be other.
Yeah. What I can say is Thaddeus has a lot of friends. And where Axiom is now, in comparison to the last game, you're going to need Thaddeus and those companions to really get through Axiom this time.
Yeah. And then, I mean, last but not least on the characters is the Scion right there at the end.
Yeah, the Scion's quite a big deal.
Is it Scion or Scion?
Scion.
Confirmed?
Yeah. I've never had the audacity to correct you.
It's been like 10 months.
Yeah, but I thought you would pick up on absolutely everyone else saying Scion every time.
I'm a trailblazer. I just expect people to follow my trend. But okay.
Sorry, some poor educational background, I think, to be honest. But
just because I'm from Liverpool.
Yeah, well, you took the piss out of Derby. So. Yeah, the Scion's a massive force in the game. I can't say a lot about her, but what I'm really excited to see people react to is who does she belong to, like in terms of factions, like where is she from, why is she there, and why does she really not like the player? So there's a lot more to see for the Scion coming up. Super excited to see how people react to it.
Yeah, one thing I can say about the Scion, I mean, again, it was love at first sight. We saw her, and I was like, she has to be in the trailer. There's no question about it. She's just so interesting. I just love how beauty meets monstrosity, and she's those in equal parts. Yeah, just phenomenal design.
Yeah, really cool.
Where are you going to put all these new tattoos?
Do you know what I would? I would love a tattoo.
Scion back tattoo
on the back. Yeah, like the Vitruvian man.
Yeah,
that'd be very cool.
That would be super cool.
Moving from characters back a bit to location, you talked about how important the world is and the immersion. The world in this trailer already starts to feel like a bit of a character of its own. Yeah. In particular, we've got that big flower tower, which presumably holds power. Do you want to take that platform and just talk about it a bit, James?
Yeah, so that's a very integral part of the world, that the player will be heavily involved in what happens to that entire area, essentially, and their decisions really matter there. So that's really the home base of where the story of Lords of the Fallen 2 begins and where it will most likely end, depending on the player action. So it's a huge symbol of power, as you rightly mentioned, but it holds a lot of weight, and we'll see how that tower basically has influence in other areas of the world we'll go to see. So yeah, that's all I can say so far, but we'll be saying more about the fount pretty soon.
And in terms of like the concept side of the fount, what was anything interesting about the process there? What was that journey like?
Yeah, I didn't get the pleasure of being involved in that moment, but the structure itself has a huge presence, and that bleeding out the chains, everything is gripped with story, and yeah, I think there's a lot to uncover for the player there for sure. Yeah,
and it's very central in the key art too. So it's clearly something that you've put front and center, literally, of the visuals for the game. Like, how is it for you having like that kind of icon beacon and working with that?
I think what's interesting about the flower tower, or the fount as it's officially known as, but flower tower is much better.
You're really not doing well with names today.
We've just rebranded it. Tell the dev team.
I think it's this beauty, this mixture of beauty and monstrosity, and I think all of the characters we've discussed so far personify that. But you've got this flower in this elegant tower, and it's literally it's covered in huge thorns. It's being wrestled by these massive chains, and again it goes back to that word visceral. There's just a rawness to it again.
Yeah, it's a really good way of putting it. Actually, I think that that sense of like decayed or grotesque beauty almost is that paradox,
Absolutely.
isn't it? Where you've got this flower which should really be beautiful, but I mean, it's dripping with chains, right? And it's like, is it a symbol of life? Is it death? Is it both? I think that taps into the Umbral axiom thing as well.
It's very Lords of the Fallen.
It's very Lords of the Fallen.
Taking something beautiful, wrapping it in chains and blood is kind of...
Exactly that. And like when you see it, it's shocking, but then it's interesting. Like you pull away, but you're also pulled towards it at the same time. That was certainly my reaction to the trailer. And I am curious, like what, for you guys on the dev side and in the studio, what's it like with a game trailer? Like, do you guys, we will have seen it announced by the time this video goes out. What's it like for you guys in development, like seeing a trailer for the thing you're working on go out there? Is that an exciting moment? Is it nervous? Is it...
all of the above.
yeah.
There's for me, I think I can speak for most, it's a milestone, right? You get to see what you've been, if you picture us like we're like old men in a shed coming up with contraptions, that's what it's like making a game, and no one's coming in and you're there and is it good, is it bad, and just all of these like emotions that you go around like as you're kind of locked away, not with the public not knowing what you're working on. And then when you start to hear, and I always remember this in every development, you hear that it's coming to trailer time. It's like, oh, the engines are starting to warm up. We're going to have to show what we've been doing. And is it good? Is it ready? Can we live up to that expectation? And 9 times out of 10, it's always a yes. And the trailer and that run-up and it being created is always that confirmation of like, yeah, we're super proud of what we're doing. It's the biggest celebration of everything we've worked on. And so when it drops, it's always that, excitement to see it on the big screen, to see it on YouTube, to see it on your algorithm and go, oh my God, people going, oh, have you worked on that? Those sorts of feelings. But then also the nervousness of like, what are the questions that players are going to have? What does this stem? What are they going to take from this? We might see one thing in the trailer and be like, oh yeah, that's saying this message, and then players take it a completely different way. And you're like, we did not expect this. So it's that event. It's so exciting, but terrifying at the same time. But once it's all said and done, it's cool just to look at what people say about it.
I mean, one of the things we've done with Lords of the Fallen 2 already, I mean, is the logo reveal, tease, what we want to call it, which, I mean, talk about an unusual asset. I remember you coming to me with that idea and it was like, right, David. Yeah, and I never know what I'm going to get with Ryan. But this time I really did not expect it. It was like, right, we want to tease the logo for the game. Okay. I want you to help me find an artist. Okay, we can do that. We want someone who uses their own blood to paint. Okay. Funny enough, we found someone. We found Max Tacardi, the self-professed priest of terror. And he did it. He cut himself up and used his blood to do the logo. And I mean, look, it wasn't... The thing I liked about it was it was shocking, but it wasn't for shock value, right? It tied into the themes of the game.
Absolutely.
It ties into the brand, the things we were talking about last time with bolder, bloodier, braver, quite literally bloodier. Where did the seed of that idea come from? Because obviously I was involved in a process. I think it's a great piece of content.
Yeah.
But what inspired that?
Well, it stems from, bolder, braver, bloodier being at the crux of the game. The brainchild of James. It's again, how do I do justice to the game? What can we do that is bolder, braver, and in this case, literally bloodier? So I always thought, okay, you do a logo tease, that's cool, gets people excited, but how do we take that one step further? Blood is going to be integral to this game. We've already talked about Umbral being this raw wound. We've got the executions as well. But various other things we haven't revealed as well. Okay, what? The logo's red. Blood's red. What if we, tease the logo in real blood? And obviously, you found the perfect guy to do it, who is literally batshit crazy, as crazy as us,
in the best way,
if not more crazy. And he did a great job.
He did. Max, if you're watching, we mean batshit crazy in a good way.
Always
we know
in a good way.
He's an amateur boxer, I think. Remember as well. So. Be careful what you say.
We're in an Instagram group with him, and some of the images he sent us of the process are extreme. And I mean, he literally dips his paintbrush into his wrist.
Yeah, phenomenal. And such a great... I remember coming off the first call with him, we jumped... I mean, the process of finding him was one thing. Connecting with him was another.
Well, we knew within seconds that he was our guy because he was wearing a tank top.
He was wearing a tank top.
There's the three of us on a call.
Three black tank tops. But no, and that first call was great. I mean, he just got it as well, I think.
Absolutely.
To be fair to him, I don't think he maybe knew games like deeply, right? But he saw the art. I think he saw the previous trailers for the last game, and he got it. He got the iconography, and he just ran with it.
Which I think is super. I wasn't involved in the process, but I do remember the first chat where you guys brought it up, and I think it was just in one of our parlays, and you're like, "Oh yeah, do you know we've got this idea?" And I was like, "Okay, that sounds absolutely insane. Let's see how you go with it." And then I think one of you text me it, and I was just like, it's actually there. My God, this has happened. But I think to see that, to hear about it and go, oh yeah, that could be cool, and then to see it, and then to just feel like, okay, yeah, that is what we're trying to do. And I think commend you both on trying and finding him and finding someone that also not only gets it but is within that vibe. It's hard to find people.
You found him suspiciously fast, actually.
Yeah, had him on speed dial.
Yeah, of course you did.
Just in one of my
I really would never want to look inside your contact list. Your black book would be terrifying. But yeah, for you guys to find someone that really understands the depth of the game, is within kind of how we view this as a craft. Yeah, super, super cool. And yeah, can't see what... maybe I can wait to see the documentary that goes behind it. But
well, look, we've got some video materials from Max, haven't we? We'll see what we can do with them. But it was all part of that journey to Gamescom as well. I mean, it was planned months in advance. And with Gamescom, the other big piece that we talked about last time was the booth.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
The tattoo Sanctum. What is the process with a Gamescom booth? How does that start?
I mean, we obviously spoke in the previous episode about the correlation between playing a soulslike and getting a tattoo, and it's a test of endurance, it leaves its permanent mark. So I won't go back into that, but, again, what we wanted to do, literally pay tribute to the game, and I think the game is absolutely going to stand out of the crowd for a number of reasons. So again, I wanted to make sure that if we're having a booth at Gamescom, it's a booth that stands out from the crowd. It's not just sort of like a nice looking booth with the game playable. I wanted it to be an experience, both visually and physically.
I mean, that segues nicely, I think, into a little bit of a highlight reel from Gamescom for you guys at home. So enjoy, see what we got up to. I just woke up. What's happening?
It's a nightmare come true. We are at the Laws of the Fallen tattoo Sanctum. The DJ's playing, the tattooists are tattooing, we're vibing.
one of the best booths at Gamescom for sure. It is a weird, kink dungeon.
Giving really like mysterious kind of club vibes.
Dark wave, underground, vampiric.
Which camera is this? I think it's fucking freaking amazing.
What are you getting? What are we looking at here?
Crusader Cross.
Crusader Cross.
Crusader Cross.
Oh yeah, this is what we're here for.
It's relaxing. You get into a zone with it.
It's not done any work, and that's what we're here to do.
He has like a really soft skin.
Really soft skin?
Yes, he makes me really easy.
You're tattooing a baby?
Yes.
I've got the Dark Crusader skull, and I've also got the infamous lantern.
My girl.
Did you use Norman
The
Green for that,
Enchantress.
Ryan?
I've never heard of that.
And today we're doing both sides of the leg. We've got Dark Crusader this side. We're going to do the Enchantress on the other side.
It's kind of cool to see him brand his body with these elements, and even let Ryan tattoo him.
The James, don't know where he's been. He's actually good.
Am I allowed to swear? Fuck, god damn it. Oh my god, that looks so fucking amazing. Fuck. I want to play this game so fucking bad. Well, I'm a Lords of the Fallen player, so I have nothing against pain.
Tattoo means passion. My passion about the game. Yeah, it's my favorite game, and I love to carry it on my skin to show others my passion about it.
I'm just wondering what's going to come next. How do we up this next year?
Well, someone's going to need to hang off the hooks, I think.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Lifting the Veil. I think it's safe to say we're going to do more in this style, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah?
definitely.
Should we do this again?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Charlie, for joining us. It's been a pleasure. Before we go, we'll do our usual Under the Lamplight. We'll pick up some community questions, hand-picked. So, first one from JCRM6TM. I love saying those, they just roll off the tongue. Have you guys played Elden Ring Night Reign yet? If yes, favourite Nightfarer, what do you think of the game overall? Has anyone been playing it? I mean, I have. We have. We played it
We
together.
played together, yeah, absolutely.
What did we think of it?
I thought you were rubbish.
That's not the point.
I was quite shocked, I think, which is not a bad thing. Like I think Elden Ring as a universe, as a base game, incredible. Shadow of the Erd Tree, incredible, also incredibly frustrating in some areas. So Night Reign was really kind of out of character, but quite a refreshing one. And I think it's always a interesting thing to see how FromSoft push the elements of the genre there and use what they've got there. I'm also like Ryan, I don't play many multiplayer games. I tried to play it in solo. It's quite hard.
Yeah,
but
impossible.
Yeah, nearly impossible.
Yeah, it was at the time. I don't know if they nerfed it, but at launch.
Yeah, that was not a good idea. That was not a good evening for me. But I like, Souls-likes being pushed in different ways, being contorted and seeing how audiences respond. So super interesting.
And it's a smart way of reusing a world, right, that people love. I think Red Dead did it with Undead Nightmare.
Yeah.
If I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah.
That was like the first time I remember a dev team doing it. Did you play, Charlie?
I did.
Night Rain?
I did.
Yeah.
No, not Night Rain.
Oh, you played Undead Nightmare?
Yes.
What did you think of that?
I mean, Red Dead has a special place in my heart. I think I mentioned it to James yesterday, even that I felt like I was role-playing a human and then being a cowboy. Like the other way around, I just lost myself to that world. And
Okay.
Undead Nightmare, a surprising change from that. Such a fantastic franchise, yeah.
Explains the cowboy boots and Daisy Duke. Daisy Duke shorts you've got on under the
Just we'll keep that mystery to
yeah, awesome. Okay, so the
Player
next
classes? Didn't they ask about that?
They did. They asked about our favourite Nightfarer. You are right. Any faves?
I don't know what his name
I don't know
was.
what to name them.
No, I don't know.
I like the Bird Man.
The bird.
Yeah, who swooped up and ground pound.
I was Grapple Hook Man, wasn't I?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he was
Any
good.
I
favourites?
play Grapple Hook because of Sekiro.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly that.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that, actually.
I haven't had a chance yet.
You haven't touched it?
They've got
of
it
course.
there.
Yeah,
Got it.
okay.
That's my homework.
homework.
Yeah.
That's your assignment.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Random Man Adam asks, this is quite relevant to what we talked about earlier. So, will the next installment coincide with the timeline of the previous game? Is it set within the same time frame? If so, will you be able to see things your previous character's done? Lighting beacons, things. I think that we'll take that question about, you touched on it at the start of the episode. Where's this set, right? This is 100 years later.
Yeah.
In terms of, the previous character, the end of the last game, is there anything we can talk about there? I'm looking at you for permission.
I'll see what James says.
And then we'll edit it out.
Yeah, I always get the tough ones, don't I?
Mm-hmm.
How can I answer this? So, yeah, we already mentioned 100 years has passed between both titles. So that gives us a lot of leeway to play with a lot of things and have a few returning elements. If you're really eagle-eyed, you'll be able to maybe work out that one of the characters in the trailer is someone from the last game.
Wow. Oof.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. D Savage 87 asks, are we going to add new weapon classes to the game?
To me again?
Or Charlie. I looked at Charlie and he looked away.
I'll add an umbrella answer. So, yes. And what we can say is that there's a weapon or two that a lot of people have asked for.
Yes.
Okay.
And I would actually back that up with is my go-to build is that class. It is so much fun to play, and it's so aggressive. I really miss. I just have to play that class. Even when someone tells me, "Can you test this class?" It's like, I can't just go back to this one, please.
And the funny thing is, the guys had already decided. I mean, this weapon class was already in existence before a lot of people suddenly started asking for it.
I know what this is. It's the clown class that makes balloon animals, isn't it? It is. I knew it.
Spoiler. Dear, jeez.
So, next one, Comeback Caleb 4168 asks, do we plan to evolve the loot system in the next game? They love a good loot chase, like most of us. Anything going on with loot of note?
Yeah, we do have a few interesting additions to that to kind of push the player. Really can't say much on that. But one thing I can reveal is that loot between Axiom and Umbral is now a lot more integral to the gameplay experience. So players are going to really have some fun dipping in and out, concocting some interesting things. So yeah, some super interesting stuff coming there.
Very cool. And then the last question come from Nom de Plume, and they ask, are we a dev team or a metal band?
Once I get my tattoos, then
right.
Then yes.
Can anyone here play an instrument?
You can.
I can.
What can you
That's a
play?
loaded question.
I can play guitar.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
Electric.
I like to think I can.
Electric, as if it's different.
Yeah. Be different.
Can you? You played a flute or
I'll
something?
play the clown. I'll play the fool.
0, afraid.
You give me groupie energy, to be fair.
Roadie energy or groupie energy?
Groupie.
Until next time.
Here's a question. Bonus question.
Sure.
What's your karaoke song?
I have two answers to that.
I want to hear both.
Okay. The one that I can easily do is Baby Got Back by Sir Mix-a-Lot. For some reason, I know the entire rap off by heart. So that's the easy go-to. But the one I enjoy the most, and I would argue best Batman soundtrack ever, is Seal, Kiss from a Rose.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You?
I don't think I've ever done karaoke.
What?
What?
Okay.
I actually don't think I have.
I don't think I have either.
What?
It's not a rite of
You are.
passage.
Okay, so the question now is, if you're about to do karaoke, what song are you going to pick?
I'll do something by J-Lo. That would be the best. Yeah, I think I'd just. I'm a big fan, so I think.
Jenny from the Block.
Yeah. That would be it.
I think I'd do Private Dancer by Tina Turner because I saw it on there. I think it's extras where Barry from EastEnders does it, and there's people crying in the pub. What about you?
Yeah.
I've done it a few times. Sweet Transvestite, Dr. Frankenfurter.
And in your own time to the camera?
Maybe at one point. I've got some videos of it. Yeah.
We could edit that in to this video.
We could.
We could do that.
We won't, but we could.
As the credit roll on the game. Actually, we could put that in. Love it.
Lords of the Fallen 2. Wishlist now.